Hello, welcome, people. Welcome to Mainevent Boxing Talk, and welcome my co-host Tom, all the way from America, Italian blood. How are you?
Good, Nathan.
Right.
It's good to see you.
And you too. Let's talk some boxing then.
Yeah, let's get down.
Tyson Fury's taking a tune-up fight against Marius Wack in Thailand on the 24th of July. This is live on Netflix. It was announced on Tuesday. This is one day before Joshua fights Christian Prengrin in Saudi Arabia. Will they both win to set up a fight? Right, so this fight with Tyson Fury, he's fighting Marius Wack, who hasn't had a meaningful win in 8 years, I believe about 6-7 years. And that was against, what's his bloody name? I can't remember. Jeez. His name, the German guy. Christian Hammer, yeah. I think that was his last meaningful win. And obviously this is Tyson's second fight back in the saddle since he fought Marius Wack.
Oh, since he lost to Usyk.
Yeah, what do you think of this fight? His second comeback fight within like a month or whatever.
I'm turning off these snare drums because they're buzzing when you talk. Okay, what do I think? I think he needs it. I think Fury needs it. I think to recover from his shoulder surgery on his right arm, so he could throw a right cross straight again, which he was able to do a lot easier last time he fought a few months ago. So, and then again, the same thing with Joshua, whose timing was off against that great American boxer, Jake Paul.
It was way off, yeah. It was way off.
Yeah, I think he warmed up. Hold on, I'm sorry for the interruption. Hello, Kyle. All right, just listen. I'm on a podcast right now. When you come, could you just ring the doorbell and Holly will come down? Okay. All right. Thanks, Kyle. Bye. All right. So I'm shutting the phone. Sorry for the interruption. So, I mean, they both should win these fights, right? Right.
Yeah.
And then we have Usyk fighting. What's his name? I forgot.
That comes later on.
Yeah, but he has that fight. He has that fight. And then, of course, he should win that fight. And then the winner of Joshua and Fury will be available to see what happens.
Well, that's way too far ahead. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right. So what do I think about these two? I think they should both win. And I think it's good for them to take these fights at this point because they're not getting any younger, and they didn't look exceptional.
I've seen Christian Prengrin fight. He's truly awful. He's like, Mark Demori kind of level we're talking here. And, Christian Prengrin is a Marius Wack. Well, we know he's barely British level. He'd probably lose to Dave Allen. He's that bad now.
That's not saying much, man.
I mean, he would. I mean, it's a tune-up fight. This is a one-round job for Joshua, one-round job for Tyson.
Why wouldn't Fury give Allen a fight? Would that be too ridiculous?
I just think it would kind of be a bit ridiculous. But it would sell. It would sell.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to Thailand. I'm sure they're going to look upon Tyson Fury as this giant in Thailand. They don't have
the problem why Dave Allen that fight would never happen because Dave Allen would price himself out the fight. He'd want too much money, and Tyson wouldn't want to pay him like 400 grand for that. He can get Marius Wack for probably 100 grand. It's a much cheaper fight, even though Wack's better. It's just a cheaper fight for him. And the reason why Joshua chose Christian Prengrin is because he's cheap. That's the only reason. He'll take a couple $100,000 for that fight. No, even probably less.
Right. Well, if either one of them lose, then it's over.
Then it's game over, yeah. It's not likely to happen, but
I would say that Fury looked better than AJ did.
Oh, he did, yeah. Because I think Tyson, even though he retired, he was still training, to a reasonable standard.
I mean, I think that's actually the key to becoming an elite fighter is being a gym rat. You know, even when in between championship fights, all your great fighters, Bernard Hopkins,
Yeah,
Rocky
at this point in
Marciano.
their careers, I think Fury's more dedicated than Joshua.
Yeah.
Personally, Joshua's more of a bodybuilder, and he's more of a bodybuilder. It's the way he's always been,
Well, you know, he's still. There was a period there where he was in the gym a lot too.
Mm.
You know, I think after he defeated Klitschko, and then he had a nice run for a while until he met Andy Ruiz. He was training pretty hard, but he never stopped trying to learn, and you got to give him credit for that by trying different trainers and whatnot. And so did Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I don't think Joshua's a serious fighter anymore. To be absolutely honest with you,
Well, he better be. If he's going to fight Fury, he better be.
the fight won't happen. I don't think the fight will happen.
Okay.
Joshua has too much to lose to take that fight. I've always said it. The money makes sense, but if Joshua loses to Fury, where does he go from there?
Yeah, it's if either lose, like we said, it's over, and neither one of them is going to be a gatekeeper. So
yeah. In other news, I want to add a different subject.
Sure.
Andy Ruiz Jr. has signed with Matchroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
On a multi-fight deal. I saw it yesterday.
Wasn't his last fight a draw with Baby?
Yeah.
Baby?
But he busted his hand. That was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's a long time to be going in and out,
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, I could understand as you get older, like 6 months taking off.
Yeah.
But Marciano and those old fighters, they never took off as long as these guys do. The Cinderella Man, I think, took off for a while doing exhibitions for different shows for 2 years, and then he fought Joe Louis.
Mm.
But
boxing is very different now to what it was.
Yeah,
it's a different animal now.
Yeah, and unless you're in a really poor country where you fight every 4 weeks, guys nowadays are not doing that.
And I don't blame them. Why would you risk it for small money when you don't have to?
Yeah, well, that's true. But like when you're poor, you need the money. So even Pacquiao was fighting a lot of fights, and he
definitely
lost.
In the early days, yeah.
Yeah, he lost a couple. He got clocked once or twice. So do you want to move on?
Yeah, Shakur Stevenson signs with Zuffa.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Well, he's what it says here. He says he's not interested in becoming undisputed. He just cares about his legacy. So
he's not. He should. So he should go for undisputed then.
Well, he says well, it says here I said is undisputed just a label if you fight someone who was mediocre to unify.
Yeah.
By like Haney fought Kambosos, right? And he embarrassed them. Or should you just fight the best out there for your legacy? So which one is it?
I think you've got to pick your money when you're in his high level position. There's millions on the table. You've got to take it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you got to fight the best fighters out there, whether they're
definitely
or not. I mean, how many guys coming up are avoided for a long time? Like Caballero.
Loads of guys are avoided these days.
He's a guy that's been avoided, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, boxing's, like I say, it's a different animal to what it ever used to be.
Yeah, I agree. So as far as him signing with Zuffa, I mean, he signed for what, about $8 million? I think?
Something ridiculous like that, yeah.
Something, and the fight there is really him and Devin Haney, right, at 147.
Definitely,
that's what it should be. But anyway, we'll see what happens. That kind of there's more about that later on. In terms of what's going on with Haney.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think? That it's undisputed now, dependent upon just getting the belts, or who owns the belts?
Just getting the money together. I think who's got the most value. I don't think fighters care about legacy anymore. It's all about money. But sometimes that's how it should be.
Right. Okay. You wanna talk about the next thing?
Yeah.
Well, Fundora says he wants Ennis soon, but he's got to make a defense before that. But do you think this is the best match at 154? Fundora and Ennis?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good fight. I think Fundora, it's a close one, isn't it? I wouldn't like to say.
Right. Well, do you think Fundora could win, or who would win?
I'd have to say Fundora because of his bigger size.
Right. That Ennis would have to get inside. I mean, if you look at his fight with Keith Thurman, he was very effective on keeping Keith Thurman away. But Keith Thurman is not the same as he was, and he's nowhere near where Ennis is right now. I think it's going to be a very hard fight. It's like a Hearns-Hagler fight, right? Don't you think?
I think Fundora should move up to middleweight. I think he's too big for 154 now.
Oh, the police are coming for you.
I think he's too big, Tom. 154. Yeah. He's outgrown the division. He's really outgrown the division, hasn't he, Fundora now?
Yeah, he's a big guy, and it's hard to fight him unless you get him to go down like the guy who knocked him out, and then he beat him in the rematch.
Yeah.
Unless you get him to lean down, but I think now he's corrected that because he always made himself smaller, but the last few fights he hasn't done that.
The problem with Fundora is, like I say, he could fight up to super middleweight potentially, or super middleweight, couldn't he? With his large frame.
With his frame, yeah, but he'd have to put on some serious muscle.
I think even Hearn, not Hearns. Hearns was probably skinnier than him, weren't he? I'd say, to be honest.
Nathan, I can't hear you over the noise. What did you say?
I said that Tommy Hearns was probably a little bit more skinnier, wasn't he, at one stage than Fundora?
Yeah, but he was skinny with the legs, but his upper body was always big, like Wilder. Kind of built like Wilder with that leverage
legs, yeah.
Him down. Gave him a lot of punching power.
Yeah, I know him. Let me see what's next.
Okay. Do you want to go on to number 4?
Yeah, the WBA makes Gervonta Davis the champion in recess because of legal issues. Floyd Schofield and Lucas Baddy, ranked number 1 and 2 at 135, have been ordered to fight for the vacant belt. Davis is calling out Bam Rodriguez, and Bam wants to fight him. Is this a smart move for Bam? Crazy. Yeah,
that's. I think. I think Davis has much more punching power than.
Can't
Bam.
they just strip him of the title? If he's got these legal issues, shouldn't they just strip him? Not make him the champion in recess,
Well, I think, that's fine. And then if he wants the title back, he has to fight the current title,
Yeah, that's belt. What I believe.
That's the way it usually runs, right? He doesn't automatically get the belt back. He has to fight the champion at that time.
Yeah.
But Bam Rodriguez going up in weight to 135, I don't know, man.
He could do it. I don't see why not.
Yeah, but I think a better fight with him is with Inoue. This is even more weight, I think, than Inoue, right? At 135.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I think that's going to be easy pickings for Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a smart move for him. For Bam, it isn't. And so. If they're stripping him, I mean, I don't even know what the situation is with. I mean, he has an arrest warrant out. I don't know how that's going to.
He has an arrest warrant out on him, I believe.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I hate him.
The guy's an idiot. I don't really like him very much. As a fighter, he's brilliant, but as a person, I despise him. To be honest, he's worse than Mayweather was.
Yeah. Can you turn your video on so I can see you?
Yeah, in a second.
Well. I don't think he's nowhere near as smart as Floyd Mayweather was, in terms of how he's handling his life and his business. I mean,
he couldn't learn nothing from Floyd. So what does that tell you if he's not listening to him? But then again, should anyone listen to Floyd in his current situation? I mean, really?
Well, I think that you could listen to Floyd about his tactics on how to promote a fight and how to build up a fight. That's great, but Floyd was good at that, and Floyd was great, as a fighter. So, but Gavante is just he didn't.
He's a different breed.
He's different younger generation. He's not the
Right.
same.
Shall I tell you what the problem is? Like, you look at someone like Davis and Mayweather, the one thing they've got in common, they shat on everybody on their way up. They shat on everybody. When you shit on everybody on your way up, on the way down, it's going to be very humbling, right?
Well, I don't think Mayweather was very quiet. I remember his rise because Bob Arum was promoting him, and he was very respectful in his interviews. He was beating all these champions, and he was doing a great job. And
I fear for Gervonta Davis. If he doesn't kill somebody or kill himself, someone will take him out. And it's the same sort of thing. He's even worse than Adrian Broner in the way his attitude is. 10 times worse.
It's good that you bring up my favorite fighter because there was good news about him.
Broner got some money back, but Broner's not so stupid, whereas Davis is. Davis is really dumb.
I forget what the business venture was, but he's made some money now.
Streaming. But I mean, it's been good for him. I wish him all the best.
He was so talented.
I think he had more talent than Davis, personally.
Oh yeah, he's better all around boxer.
Of course he was. Yeah, Davis was just there at the right time when he was the super featherweight champion. There wasn't really a lot of activity in 2016. There weren't too many great fighters in the division back then.
Yeah, and I think he got that body shot to Garcia was kind of on the lucky side for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But he won. You can't take that away from him, and he's been in a couple of fights. I think that fight where he took a knee, it should have been called a knockdown.
Yeah,
and he would have probably lost that fight.
Right, we'll move on to our next thing, which is this is bad.
This weekend, yeah.
So Gassiev against Kudrudru, whatever his name, some African fighter.
Hero.
I've seen him fight. I saw him fight about 5 or 6 months ago.
I saw it too.
Against Zenit Gashi, who was the European level, probably heavyweight European level. But that would be pushing it. And he beat him on points, split decision, whatever it was. And I'm looking at him and thinking that's not, I don't think Gassiev's got anything to be worried about.
Well, yeah. His opponent, was better at getting in and out on him. He's big, Kaduru.
But he's not got a lot of talent, though. Yeah, I think he's only got one. That's his only good win. I can understand why they didn't choose Georgios, because he's more dangerous than this guy. They just wanted an easy payday for Gassiev. I think he just wants an easy payday. Well, that's all it comes down to.
Most guys are bigger than Gassiev. Most of them. Because he's not a big heavyweight. This guy's going to outweigh him by 28 pounds.
Gassiev will knock him out. This guy's nothing. He might get a points win, but Gassiev, he's a big hitter for a natural cruiserweight.
The only way I could see Kaduru winning is if he could keep him on the outside with the jab.
We've seen Gassiev lose to lesser people like what's his name? He lost to that Swedish heavyweight.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Otto Wallin, yeah. Otto
Wallin, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't put a lot of stock in losing to some guy, and as you go on, you get better. I mean, great fighters have lost in the past. I think it'll be interesting for a couple of rounds until Gassiev.
The only thing I can say positive about Gassiev is that he's 32. He's still getting better. He's in his prime now as a heavyweight at 32.
He should win. I'm agreeing with you. He should win. I like it to be an interesting fight, though,
But I think we're going to see a late knockout or a boring point decision. There's nothing exciting about Gassiev, really. He struggled to beat a 45-year-old puller.
Yeah, but he came on and really nailed Pulev.
Don't think you can give him too much credit for that when a prime Pulev would have washed him out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think people are queuing up to fight Gassiev because they know he's the weak link in this this new division. I personally think we're headed to an era like the Klitschko era in 2009, 2006 kind of era. I think this is going to be a bad era once the certain top guys are gone.
Yeah, and that's going to happen sooner or later.
In the next 2 or 3 years, the heavyweight division, I mean, Daniel Dubois might not be around then. The only guy who's going to be around is probably Moses Atuma, Richard Torres. These guys coming up.
I don't think Torres will be, though.
No, it depends. I mean...
Well, yeah, but, I mean, he got really exposed in his last fight. He should have never took that fight. But we can talk about that later.
We shouldn't be hearing about Joshua and Tyson Fury anymore. It should be the new people, That's why these older guys are still here. Because the other generation have not done their job.
Well,
it's the only reason these older guys are here.
Don't forget, George Foreman won the heavyweight championship at 42.
That was a weak era as well. That was a really weak era as well. And it was, back in
you had Lennox Lewis then. You had Evander Holyfield then. You had Shannon Briggs. You had different stuff.
You had a Riddick Bowe on the decline. It was a different era back then. I don't think you'll see that again in boxing. I mean, obviously, the oldest heavyweight champion since was what's his name, was Pullett. But I don't think you like to see that much again, in this modern era.
No, not really. I think Atuma's bringing some excitement to the division. So we can talk about him later because he's on the list.
Okay, let's move on. Fabio Wardley unwisely has activated his rematch clause with Dubois. Silly man, what? Dear me.
I mean, can he change his style to win this?
Well, I don't think he can. No.
Even with the right trainer, you don't think so?
He could, but I'd say not. You don't go into a rematch straight away. Go in to have 1 or 2 warm-ups with your new style, and if your new style works. I mean, he had Dubois beat in the first round, and then in the third round, he didn't finish him off. He should have finished him off. If you got someone like Dubois hurt, you finished him off. I mean, he let him out, didn't he? He let him get his thing together, And then from the 4th round, Dubois just outboxed him. If you can outbox Wardley, you'll beat him all day long.
I just thought of something. You made a very good point. Being that he didn't have an amateur background, right?
Oh, yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible.
But here's the thing. When you do have a long amateur background, you get to see all these styles. And you get to learn on the way up. You work on new things. There's a nice long road, 4-round fights where you can train from a young age how to deal with this stuff. So when you get into a position where you're winning, you're
right. Here's the deal. Fabio Wardley, nobody believed in him. No one thought he'd ever get to any kind of significant level past British. Nobody did. And they'd be lying if they did. They'd say he might get to European latest. I mean, he always had a good style, but he was brought along. He had to be brought along quick because he turned pro at like 26, 27. They had to, they had to get behind him. And the fact that he ever got to a world title level is crazy, really. When you look at, his determination alone got him to the world level, If he'd been brought along slower and brought along and had the right kind of fights, if he'd had that amateur career, he would be a much better fighter. But because he didn't have that amateur career, that's what suffered his career. Once he got up through the levels, once he got to elite level, he was always going to get found out, right?
Right. Now,
who even said that?
How do you think that beating he took is going to play on him?
I don't think with someone like Fabio's mindset, I don't think it will have too much of bearing on him.
I thought they should have stopped that fight at least 2 rounds before.
They should have stopped it in round 7 and round 8.
Yeah.
And I think that's taken years. The way he fights, that fight's probably taken 4 years off his career. You might see him come back, lose another fight. If he fights Dubois again and loses, I think he then becomes a journeyman, and a lot of people start beating him because they know how to fight him now. The pattern's there how to beat him. If you can outbox him, you'll beat him every time.
Rightio. Okay.
Fundamentally, he's pretty awful, really, isn't he? If you look at it, his fundamentals are terrible. He's got no defense. He walks forward. I'd say he has even less skill than Joe Joyce. At least Joe Joyce had an amateur career, you know.
Right. But I think he has more power than Joe Joyce.
He does, but Joe Joyce has his style is even worse. If you don't do your training properly, if you don't have your amateur, if you don't have your progressive fights properly, this is what will happen. And you could say the same thing, but we'll come to that later. Let's move on. Usyk versus Wilder confirmed, but do we really need to see this horse shit? I mean, no, not really.
No, why? Why? It's a payday, I guess, for both of them. But what's Wilder going to do with Usyk? How is he going to, with this timing that's off, so off, how is he going to catch him?
He's not. What he should do, he should have fights, like the level he's been fighting at, a bit below Chisora, Not. He should. In fact, he shouldn't even be fighting. Full stop, in my opinion.
No, he shouldn't be at all. It's sad, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt here. I don't know why
he looked awful against Chisora, didn't he? And saying that, and Usyk looked horrible in his last fight. So Usyk would destroy him, in my opinion.
Well, I think Usyk looked worse because the style was so unorthodox.
And he's always been the smaller man, hasn't he?
What?
He's always been the smaller man.
Right, but he's what, 6'5"?
Usyk 6'3".
I think he's 6'5". But the point is this: look, I mean, he's an elite boxer, puncher. Wilder was an awkward boxer puncher, which his freakish power got him through, but his timing is off. He's missing so many punches.
Way off, yeah. He's way off.
And he can't set you up like he used to. So I don't want to see Wilder get hurt. Let's move on.
Okay. Bob Arum says that Canelo Alvarez belongs on the golf course, not in the ring. Arum said to him, I think Alvarez is finished. Bob promotes him, Billy. Is Canelo finished? That's the biggest load of horseshit I've ever heard. Really, that really is a load of horseshit. He lost.
Bob has been around a long time.
I don't believe that. I think Canelo's got enough to beat Billy. And I'm not that impressed with Billy, to be honest. You could say he lost to Hamza Shiraz in his last couple of fights. That's rubbish. I think Canelo's got one last good fight in him.
Well, he beat Shiraz right on a decision, right?
No, it was a draw.
Oh, it was a draw. But then in his last fight, which wasn't with Shiraz, that was a barn burner, and he won by the narrowest of margins. But the thing about him is his engine is great.
And Billy's limited compared to the elite guys. We know that he's limited.
Well, Bob has been around. I mean, if I look at Canelo, how he did against Bud, he did have some good moments.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He did have a couple of good rounds. Is that enough to judge him like how he would? It's a different style. I think when Billy would leave himself more open in exchanges.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
His power. And depending on Canelo can't move like he used to move. He can't move in faster like he used to move.
Yeah.
So, he adopted the Rocky Marciano style of hitting you on the elbows and the shoulders to bring your arms down and to hurt you, which is a good strategy. But we'll see if Billy could stand up to that. I think it's interesting, and I think Arum, maybe he's trying to get into Alvarez's head. I don't know. But you make a good case. Canelo has nothing really to prove.
Yeah.
You want sideways on me.
But no, he doesn't. Yeah. I think still here.
Yeah, I still hear you. You're fine. Just everything's fine.
Yeah.
You want to move
on to the next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Garcia with Ben is not officially on, no matter what the Turk says. No one has contacted Oscar La Hoya, who represents Garcia. It is a lawsuit in the making. Dear. I couldn't care less about this fight because I know that Garcia is a level above Ben, so it'd just be a mismatch anyway. It would be the easiest payday of Garcia's career.
Why does Turkey Alashink think he could bypass like Golden Boy and Bob Arum over here, Top Rank, and go around lawsuits because he's over there in Saudi? He could decide what he wants and do what he wants.
Pretty much, yeah.
Garcia gets sued up the yin yang, just like Virgil Ortiz.
I do think that the Sheik kind of is ruining boxing as good as he's making the big fights, but lower down he doesn't have a clue. At the lower levels, really, he doesn't have a clue.
I mean, Ben wants to fight because it's money for Ben.
Ben will be fighting the Zuffa belt. He fights for Zuffa. Why does he? He said he doesn't give a shit about the belts. All he cares about is his money, his precious money. Once he gets his Zuffa belt, then he'll parade it around like he's the next hottest fighter in the ever. I just think Conor Ben is fake. He's proven he's got no loyalty. He's fake. He's a fake ass motherfucker. I don't listen when I hear him in interviews. I just cringe and think. I just turn it off.
You think
he's only where he is because of Daddy's reputation. Otherwise, no one would look at him. He wouldn't even be a millionaire if it weren't for that name.
Right. So, do you think, Ben, if this doesn't work out, Ben would want to fight the guy he last fought and beat over there, the middleweight?
No. He only wants big names. There's no way you'd ever see him fight a top British welterweight or a top British 154 like a Josh, what's his name? Josh Taylor. Not Josh Taylor. Josh, what's his name? We had the British world champion, Josh Kelly. There's no way he would fight a Josh Kelly because Josh Kelly's too good for him. And if he loses to a British guy, it looks bad for him, right? It's better for him to lose to an elite.
Right.
Like Garcia rather than Josh Kelly, who's elite. But
you got Josh Kelly, you have Boots, and you have Fundora.
Paddy Donovan as well. Even Paddy Donovan would be too good for him. He's not going to fight a lower name guy who even knows a better fight at a lower level.
Do you think he would? Do you think he'd fight Eubank again?
No.
I don't think
Nobody over here would pay to see it. We don't need to see a third fight. Yeah. I completely washed up Eubank. Nobody wants to see that. Right, let's move on. The WBA have officially ordered Haney to face Keyshawn Davis. This ends talk about Haney facing Shakur. This is a good fight. Is Keyshawn Davis mature enough to handle the big stage? I don't at this point. No, there's no way he'd beat Haney. Maybe in a couple of years.
Tell me why.
He hasn't had too many big fights, and he's still young in his career, right? I think you give him a few more years. We don't need to rush Keyshawn.
Well, Keyshawn's kind of like he's unstable. He didn't make weight for one of his defenses. He was stripped, did the fight, and the last fight, I think there was another weight issue that he made it just in time. And he's just unpredictable behavior-wise. And when you put a guy like that on a big stage where you're like, with a guy like Haney and all the nonsense that comes with Haney's camp and his father, and Haney is getting better. He is getting better. Even though I thought he'd lost a couple here and there. I think he'll crack under the pressure.
Yeah, he's not ready for that yet.
No, but it's a good fight if they do make it.
Right, let's move on. The IBF have ordered Atuma and Sanchez to negotiate for the vacant IBF belt. This fight won't happen. What will happen is, I think Sanchez will fight somebody else for the belt. It won't be Atuma because Sanchez is too dangerous. If Atuma looks terrible against Hrgovic and only just gets through, then they're going to target Gassiev. That is the route, I believe they'll take. They're going to target Gassiev. They're not going to target Sanchez. He's too high risk, low reward.
It would be smart if they avoid him.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I think Atuma could beat him, but I just think stylistically at this minute in time, if he gets through Hrgovic, which is not a given, if he does, then he should target Gassiev for the WBA belt. That's the title.
What if he goes right through him? What if he goes right through Hrgovic and just beats him in 3 or 4 rounds?
Then that fight will have to be made.
Yeah.
But I do believe it would make more sense for them to target Hrgovic. No, sorry, to beat Hrgovic, then target Gassiev, then have a unification with Dubai. Bypass all that and just have a unification with Dubai.
Right.
That would make more sense. Win the WBA belt and then get a unification with Dubai. Then you got 2 belts. Stay away from Sanchez, stay away from Ajit Kabial. Target Daniel Dubai and then target, the IBF belt. But forget about Ajit Kabial. He's high risk, low reward.
Right.
If I was advising, I would say stay the hell away from Sanchez, stay away from Ajit Kabial. You lose to those guys, they've got no real known value. Nobody really cares that much about these guys. To the casual fan, they couldn't give a toss, but to the hardcore fans, they'd appreciate the fight more. But
I think
Sanchez,
when Ajit gets a title, he's going to be the guy.
Sanchez doesn't speak a word of English from what I can see, and Ajit Kabial is a good fighter, but he is probably the best heavyweight out there, next to the other two guys.
Yeah, you're right. I think, but Ajit is going to be the guy when the smoke clears. It's going to be Ajit.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see a Tuma fight Ajit Kabial. Kabial's 34 years old, right? He ain't going to be around much longer. By the time Atuma, he can navigate himself to the belts very carefully. He could beat Gassiev, defend the belt for 2 or 3 years, make a stack load of money, avoid all the top guys, because they'll all be retired. Ajit Kabial will be gone within 2 years. So by the time he's mopped everybody up, they'll all be retired. Doesn't need to take risk. If you know you can make a stack load of money fighting lesser competition for the belts, you're going to do it, aren't you?
Well, I hope somebody emerges as a new real heavyweight champion who takes on everybody.
It won't be a Tuma. I mean, he'll win all the belts probably. But if they put him in there with Sanchez now, they're crazy. I even think he's about 3 or 4 fights away from a world title. He's another year and a half away from a world title, in my opinion.
You think Hrgovic is too soon as well, I assume?
I do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you feel that way? I mean, only 14 fights to be
I
fighting.
think it's risky. I agree with you.
Risky.
It's very risky.
Even Mike Tyson wasn't fighting tough guys like this in his 14th fight. It wasn't until his 24th, 25th fight. Yeah, there's no reason for him to be at this level yet. I don't know why they're rushing it.
His first 15 fights were really not against real contenders.
But he beat a washed-up Dillian White. That's a name win. That's a big name win. He beat Franklin. That's a good name. But I just think, why are they rushing this guy? He's 21. Why do you need to rush? He said, but this is where it goes wrong. It happened to Dubai. It happened to, it's happened to all these guys. But the difference was, Dubai was managed to navigate an easy route back to a world title.
Right.
And Dubai has been given most of his belts in. To be honest, apart from they could have steadied him along for another year and a half, then fought for a world title. I don't know why they're rushing it. Do you think it's a bit silly rushing a fighter before they're ready?
Of course, we've seen it blow up like with Torres. Look at Torres. Could you imagine that fight with? It would have been better for him to face Atuma than Sanchez at that point.
I just feel that Atuma should be fighting for, he's won the Commonwealth title. He should be fighting Richard Rhea Kapoor, someone like that. Mop up all the domestic belts, win a European. You don't need to go straight for a world title.
Right.
I mean, would you say Atuma's as big a puncher as Dubai or Joshua? He must be.
Well, he packs power and he's fast.
Well,
he's faster.
His chin. We haven't seen his chin properly tested. We haven't seen him get knocked down.
Yeah,
he could have a good chin and we don't know.
Who has anybody taken him to the well?
No, nobody has. No, this is what I'm saying. But then again, nobody took Joshua to the well, did they? Before he won a world title, really, other than White.
Yeah.
We don't know what his chin's like. We don't really know how good his stamina is. He's young. they should leave it a few more years. Stop rushing heavyweights before their time. You know, if he was 30 years old, then I'd say, yeah, rush him.
They should keep him busy with lesser fighters. I agree. So he can work on different techniques. Yeah.
So he's not ready. He'll probably beat Hrgovic, but then where? Once you beat Hrgovic and win a world title, there's no going back down the level. You can't.
No, then it becomes like, you know, who can you avoid as long as you can?
If they want to have him have a long career, they need to navigate it away from these dangers, but keep him away. You know, incremental step. How can you go from Jermaine Franklin to Hrgovic? There's 2 or 3 levels. It could end in disaster. I hope it doesn't, but you know, it's crazy.
Well, my friend, all I can say is that we're in a different time. Like when Muhammad Ali won his championship and Floyd Patterson when they were both in their early 20s.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
just turned 22. I think Floyd won his championship at 21, and then I think Mike Tyson won it at 20. But they all had amateur careers, and they had very good trainers.
Yeah.
And a pool of different fighters, and they made good matches. So I think nowadays, if you have an unbeaten record at 22-0, you're going to be thrown into a title fight, which is not always the wisest thing to do. And there are very few people, including Wardley, like Wardley, or even Rocky Marciano only had a 8-4 amateur record, turned pro, and that ran through the heavyweight division. That's rare. But
if you want to be precise, we're now in an era of paper champions. Ajit Kabial is a paper champion. Dubai is a paper champion. So they're all paper champions. We now have 3 paper champions, and the biggest paper champion is Gassien. You imagine giving that guy a belt when he's lost to all these people like heavyweight, and he's looked very ordinary,
It's too many title organizations. That's what it is.
And all he had to do was beat an ancient Pulev who's about 45 years old. I just laugh.
Well, it looked like Pulev was winning until he got knocked.
He was winning easily. Then he just got caught.
Yeah. What are you drinking there?
Pepsi. It's Pepsi Max cherry.
Oh, I didn't even know they had that. Is it hot over there? Because you're sweating a lot.
Oh, it's really hot, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I think you must have it in America.
Cherry Pepsi. I don't know.
What's the heat where you are? What heat is it?
I'll tell you right now. Let's see. What's the temperature here in Simi Valley? 82 right now. We had a high of 85.
So what is that in Fahrenheit or?
Yeah. And tonight will be around 58.
Jesus. I'm going to tell you the temperature in the UK quickly. 19.
Oh, wow. Oh, next week it's going to be in the 90s here.
So what is 19 in is it Fahrenheit? 19 degrees in Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.